Today, Lene is joining me in exploring the Meadow hair collection from our friends at Hunkydory. And I'll show you what all the products are, but let me just entice you with this really fun card. It's got a closure, so this simply flips out and goes like that, and all is done. Okay, please come play with us. Well, we'll begin with the topper collection, and as you know, this will make many cards. As a matter of fact, there is an idea sheet included, and always the foiled die cuts, the printed cardstock, the foiled cardstock. The package says you can make 16 cards, but I know you'll make more than that. Now, to coordinate with it, Hunkydory always does what they call an adorable scorable. There are 30 sheets. You get 3 each of the solid colors. These are all in the A4 size, which is kind of a generous 8.5 by 11. Something new is this. They're printed parchment, but this time there are some all-over patterns, and they're also squares. So show you some of that. And then finally, something we all love are the tag pads. They are already die cut in a tag shape, and they're close images of those absolutely charming hares. Okay, so let's get into our first project, and here it is. We'll get in closer so you can really see it. And this is on our 5 by 6.5 inch card base, as usual. Now, what Lene has done is she has taken one of the foiled cardstocks, and it's this one, and she's used this area to go on the front of her card. So simply put glue along the edges, place this, turn it over, and trim it to fit. Super, super easy. So just this side, we're going to use this area on the inside of the card, but you see that foiling, so pretty. Okay, so that begins our card base. Now, she has taken this sheet out of the toppers, and you can see that she has used the square set. Now, there's 3 foiled pieces: the outside frame, which is what she's used, the middle frame, which she's also used, and the center frame. And I love how she changed the shape of them so that we've got some squares and some diamonds. So what she did is to first take that outside frame and simply glue it into the top area of her card. Very simple. But then she took the middle frame. Now, that frame is mostly gold, as you can kind of see here, and she glued it onto one of the parchments. Now, this is an overall pattern. You can kind of see the thistles in there, and glued that down, and then just trimmed it to fit, and then foam taped it. Now, when you turn a square on point, you get a diamond. That's exactly what Lene did. Now, this last layer, the center layer, she simply foam taped on top, so that worked nicely. Have a magical time at Christmas? Well, that's right here, and that gets glued, and notice it's overlapping that red border onto the foiled cardstock. So that worked nicely. Then she took a red bow out of the red ribbon set, which just does a nice job of kind of bringing to the forefront the reds that are in this. And then she took the glitter red jewel dazzles. Now, these are a material that is no longer available, so when we're out of this inventory, we can't get it again. But what we do have is the other red jewel dazzles, and they look like this. They have a sparkly look also. So she has taken the first ones and has done them just on the edges of those corners, just making them look really, really good. For the inside of her card, okay, well, like I said, we used this part on the front, so she's turned what was left and did it on the inside, same thing, and cut it to fit. And then she also took some of the little guys from the other sheets and put it here. And then the border that was taken from another sheet, and the Merry Christmas just right there, just doing a really nice job. And of course, the dazzles are completing the picture. So really pretty. And doesn't that foiling just really, really nice? Now, I do want to point out that this is called Meadow Hares, but there are Christmas messages in it, but I really think you could use this in the winter also. So I don't think it just has to be at Christmas time. Just wanted to give you that tip. Okay, so we'll go to the next card. And this too is going to use some of that parchment. And so what Lene has done, she has taken the parchment, and let me show you the sheet. Remember I said that they have printed art on them? Well, this is one of the sheets, and look, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 images. Now, this is larger than what our normal card size is, but look what Lene has done. She's made it fit. So I guess it's not really all that, but you did trim off the top of the ears a little bit. But this has been matted onto the light green. So you're going to trim this just to be smaller than the card front, and then mat it onto the green. And that just has about 1/8 of an inch border, so very narrow. And that simply just gets glued onto the card front, as you can see. Again, the 6.5 by 5 inch card, so that works nicely. Now what she did to get this border, she's done a couple of things. She did, I forgot to tell you this, she tore the edge of that parchment to leave about 1 inch of the blue showing, okay? And then she took off of this sheet and just took the border and glued that down, and then the Merry and Bright, and foam taped that on top. So that completed her card front. Just really, really pretty. On the inside, well, on the inside, she did something a little different. She did continue to combine these, but this is another of the sheets out of the topper set, and you can see it. And so she cut this area to fit on the inside of her card, but then she tore a little piece of this parchment. Now this parchment is part of that set, so it's got the big blocks of art, but it also has 2 sheets of the overall pattern. So you've already now seen both of them. And then the Glad Tidings is the foiled, and that is foam taped on top. You've got room for your message right there. So very nice, very different way to use them, and I really have to say I like that. Now, this is the card that I showed you in the beginning, and this is going to use some of the pieces that we did in this card. So remember this corner? Well, okay, so this has already been used, but my goodness, there's this whole other area. Well, Lene decided to use this on the front of her card. Now, because this is an opening, she did measure 3 inches from the fold and trim that off. That way we can get a peek to the inside. Then she covered this first, this 3-inch area, with this part of the cardstock, trimmed it, and then she had a little bit left. So notice right up to those berries, then she's got a piece left. So she used that on the inside of her card. Here you go. And if you will help me imagine this, let's see, she would have had this piece. Remember, from those berries over, and that can go on the inside of the card. A very excellent use of that paper. I would hope you agree. Now, the next thing that she did was to take this piece, and she took this one. Now again, this has 3 layers, 3 frames. She only used the outside and the inside, so you're going to have a gold frame left, and I bet you can find something wonderful to do with that. So the outside frame, she simply glued straight to the flap of the card front. Then she foam taped this one, again only to the left side of the card front. Foam taped that little circle, which is right here, and added a bow. This is from the 1/8 inch wide ribbons, so you get all those colors, and that goes right here. Now, this strip, this border, as you can see, it's a foil border, that is going to be attached on the back of the card. You want to score that and then bring it over, and that will just tuck under. It's such a simple closure, and I think this is the first time I've seen it, so I think that's just really, really nice. Now on the inside of her card, she did take these 2 tags, overlap them, added another bow, 1/8 inch bow, and that completes this card. So simple, and yet such a really nice look. Okay, we have one more card, And this is using that tag. Remember the tags? And this has, let's see, 48 tags. This is really a thick piece. And you get 12 designs, so you're going to get 4 of each one. So that works nicely. And again, 6.5 by 5 inch card. And she did take the front of the card and trimmed it. Now this is 3 5/8 inches wide, okay? So make that measurement and then just cut off the rest of it, save it for something else. That will work well. Now in this case, she's going to do 2 things. So I guess since you're really seeing that blue, I'll bring that back. This is the blue that she used in the last project, and simply put glue on the edges of her card insert. Place this along the fold and along one edge, press down, turn it over, and cut. It will cover it. What we call covering it will make it so easy. Now let's go back to our card front. Now here we have another piece of the adorable squirrel. This is the rust color, and she has made this a bit smaller than this area. Now there's a really easy way to do this, and what you do is this is going to be about 1/8 of an inch narrow, about 1/8 of an inch right here. So if you take this and make it twice that amount, so instead of 1/8, you're going to make it 1/4. So set it off 1/4 of an inch from the top and one side, then hold it carefully, open your card, keep it straight, and then draw that line. And then when you cut this out, it will fill that space, okay? So you just measure it twice as far as you want. So if it's 1/8, you're going to make it 1/4, 1/4, hold it down, turn it over, draw around the edge, and trim it to fit, okay? So that's one way. Or you can measure it, whichever you like. It's perfectly fine. Now what she did is she took the tag and she used it completely as it is, so it just fits perfectly right there. But I wanted to give you a couple of peeks at the other bunnies because I think they're just absolutely darling. Okay, see what I mean? A couple of them have words on them, but others do not. So that's what I mean about this being so useful many seasons. So she did place this down, attached it with foam tape. She did do a gingham bow right here out of the gingham set. And then she put some of the star dazzles. Now these are part of the, let's see, Happy Holidays set. And this has 5 sheets in 5 colors. You can see that she used the gold, but it also has these stars, it has some swirls, and so she's used those very nicely, both right here on the stars and the greeting and the swirl right here. Now this copper comes from our straight line dazzles, and this is the set. It has 340 pieces, so all sorts of colors. In fact, let me see. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's about 8 different colors. Okay, I've got a note to myself on the back. And that just a thick line and a thin line there. And then as I showed you, the inside is ready for your greeting. And she also has gone back to the parchment. And here is another of the sheets. Just love them. And so she took this little guy, just trimmed it out. There's a straight line. And then she matted it onto, again, one of the overall patterns. And she glued it to the inside right here. So just to give you, you know, kind of something to look at on the inside. And I think that's really nice. So that is our Meadow Hares collection. I hope you are as pleased with it as I am. So the Meadow Hares Topper collection. Of course, the matching cardstock, which just always makes it so easy. The printed parchment, which has some unique features this time that I haven't seen Hunkydory do before. And then also the Meadow Hares tag pad, just really sweet. So that is our webisode for today. I am so grateful for Lene for doing these absolutely charming projects, and to you for sharing them with us. Now, if you are watching this on YouTube, I hope you'll click that you want to like us and that you'll subscribe. We love to share our creativity with more people. Head on over to paperwishes.com. Why? Because you can see the money saver that's going to be on the right side of your screen. We combine all of the products that we used. Well, not every single one, because we don't do the ribbons and the glues, because you probably got those earlier. But we do have the Hunkydory collection, and we'll give you a discount if you want to buy the whole set. Now, down below, we do not have instructions this time, but of course, with each of the cards, you can click on them and see all the products that were used. And I want to thank you for watching us, and we hope that you will come back and become part of our Paper Wishes family. Bye-bye.